Look, I'm just gonna get straight into it. Jake Paul is the greatest scammer and business mastermind of the modern era. He really got millions of people and $40 million from people just to see him fight a 58-year-old man. Mike Tyson is damn near 60. How do we even entertain this as a society? I get that we don't like Jake Paul, but he's in his 20s and he's done boxing training routinely for the past 4 years. He probably would get beat up by any same weight class pro, but he's fighting retards and senile cripples. Of course he's gonna fucking win. We as a society, collectively, beyond race, religion, nationality, should all come together and ask ourselves, is this really what we allowed to happen? He made $40 million off this bullshit, and we really let him be able to say that he beat the Mike Tyson. Then to address Mike, like, I don't get it. I don't get it, Mike, man. Mike, the bills cannot be this high. Who does he owe money to? Oh. Oh, okay. All right. After Googling, he did heat bankruptcy, so the bills were in fact that high. But look, man, I'm not even like hating the man personally, okay? Even if I don't really like what he does and stuff, I'm a man who still sets aside pride and respect when it's earned. However, of all the stupid shit Jake does and says, I believe he is a genius businessman. When people ask how do these traditionally smart people or someone as hardworking as themselves may not be able to make as much money as someone like fucking Hawk 2 or something or Jake Paul, the reality is most people do not understand exactly what skill set it takes to become rich and ride a wave of attention of 5 seconds or less of a good idea. Jake, for what it's worth, has mastered this. Even throughout all the negative publicity and cringe, and just the fact that people can't stand him, he's mastered making the most off his attention. And you're gonna be like, "Oh, Chris, you're giving him more attention by doing this." Okay, first of all, he's a fucking millionaire. I don't really care. He can take what like $50 and two people see this from me, whatever. But let's just go into detail because I'm not Sunny V2, and I'm not gonna go into a deep dive, but I do want to point out how Jake and Logan staying on this path of relevancy is so crazy with a small recap. So you remember Jake started out as a YouTube vlogger primarily for an audience of children and was flamed for it all over the internet. I mean, they were just going in on his asshole, just pounding. They just hated the man. I hope my viewers are old enough to remember the edgy commentary era. Brings you back, doesn't it? Leafy, Pyro, iDubbbz, and many more just shitting on the guy to their slightly older audience of 12-year-olds. Now whatever they're doing now, like I don't know, fucking becoming professional cucks and liking fat furry porn, whatever they do, whatever they want. They hit the major snag with the suicide forest thing in Japan, which spawned one of the funniest videos of the 2010s.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment.
My memory's hazy, but I know they did a bunch of podcast shit in between that and then like 2020. Logan was apparently the king of black people during the 2020 riots. I don't even want to mention the rest of 2020, okay? Because that year was awful for everything. But fast forwarding from then to now, they've managed to keep themselves relevant. But they went to the next level when KSI, Jake, Logan all went into boxing. Very popular sport. They're very hated people. Who wouldn't want to see the dudes get their face punched in by people? And boy, like a lot of people wanted to see them. Their scheme worked well. But it wouldn't be enough just to get punched up once then let it go because it will lose its charm after maybe the third or fourth time. That's why the Paul brothers marketing genius is right there. It's just so ingenious. They talk hot shit, rile people up even more, challenge a bunch of non-boxers, beat them, then challenge retired and older fighters, which people will get even more excited about, and they will say, oh man, he's going to get his face punched in one day once he fights a real boxer. Now he's going to get his shit kicked in. Then proceed to beat them because Jake is in shape and he's a mid-20s male. This builds up even more hate because people will keep paying to see your head get taken off. Or if it doesn't get taken off, they want to see it eventually happen. And you might start thinking, well, if you keep scheduling easy fights, people will eventually stop falling for it. Well, that's why Mike was the perfect fight. If you follow any sport, the mythos for legends surpasses any logic. Basketball fans with Kobe and Jordan are the perfect example. The mythos around Mike is that he's so much of a killer that even at 58, he could outdo some of the young guys. He's just unbeatable. It's as ridiculous as thinking Michael Jordan today could play in the NBA G League even right now. Some people really tuned in to see 58-year-old Mike Tyson fight a semi-pro boxer in his prime. And I would like to say, if we just step back as a society and thought about it for 5 minutes, This shit wouldn't have worked at all. Okay, it wouldn't have worked at all. I just had to say that, bro, because some people wasted their money on Netflix. I already had Netflix, bro. I already had it. I tuned in for like the last 3 rounds, and I still felt scammed because they did jack shit out there on the boxing ring. I don't know who paid for this, but you got scammed, and I hope that wasn't your last paycheck. I hope you're not living paycheck to paycheck and just fucking spent your last money on that. But either way, I digress. Thank you for listening to my yap shesh, and I'll shut the fuck up now. And if you like to hear my yap sesh, please subscribe. Whatever. I don't know. You're probably not gonna subscribe. Okay.